Hi everyone, I'm Lauren, and today I'm doing another Best Picture nominee watching project thing, and today that's for Dead End, which was one of the nominees for 1937. Dead End is a film based off of a play by the same name. I believe it came a few years after the play. I think it was just 2. And the film, slash I guess the play, assuming that it's accurate, is this drama that centers around this area of, I don't actually know where it takes place, America somewhere. But it takes place in this city, part of the city where the rich people and the more poor people intermingle a little bit, because I don't remember if it was a rich area first or a poor area first, but one of them moved in and it's like, hey, probably the rich people moved in, like, hey, we like this water view. So now there's kind of this mix of poor people and rich people kind of thing. And it follows a few different groups as they each have their kind of own agenda slash issues. One of the groups is a pair of gangsters. One of the two is a pretty infamous gangster, but he had his face reconstructed in a way that he doesn't look the same. And he went back to this area. Is it called Dead End? I don't know. But he went back to this area and he's trying to reconvene with some different people. Like, I think that's what he's trying to do. And eventually he gets into some issues because gangsters gotta be violent. Pew, 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 pew. There's also this love triangle, this other group which is kind of like a love triangle. There's a rich lady and a poor guy and a poor woman. I actually don't remember any of their names. Oops, but the poor guy really likes the rich lady. The rich lady, however, is kind of like, I like you, but I need someone who can provide for me, kind of thing. And the poor lady likes the poor guy, but the poor guy kind of almost friend zones her, like they've known each other for a while, and so doesn't think about her like that. The poor lady's kind of sad that he's not really into her as much, and kind of feels like he just likes the rich lady because she's kind of rich. And then the last group is a bunch of kids, and they're in a group and they get into all sorts of trouble. They have spats with this rich kid. They do a lot of tricks and pranks and things, but they eventually get too far, and how they deal with it is the story for them. And so these separate groups do their own thing, and I mean, they kind of mix, but not really in a meaningful way, I guess. Like, something that one group does kind of affects another group, but they don't really do things together as much. So it kind of felt like this was a movie about 3 different stories that are very, very, very loosely connected and almost could have stood on their own, except for the fact that none of them were hyper interesting. Really, at least to me. I did enjoy more the 2 gangsters, especially the more infamous one. I think it's more I liked his acting and just how he was. He didn't seem to be just, I'm gonna beat up people because I'm a gangster kind of thing. He did seem to have a more softer side as well, and some more emotions and whatnot, so I did like that. Whereas most of the other characters just seem to be kind of one-notey. But of the 3 groups, I feel like the gangster pair wasn't as in the movie as much as the other 2. I think really the groupings of the boys were in it the most, and I didn't really find them at all interesting. They don't. I don't really feel most of anybody goes through much character development. There's not really much of a story other than the problems of the people, so I feel like they should have some character development if we're focused only on characters. But there's not really, at least not that I can see. And it kind of goes at a weirdly slow plotting pace. Somehow I managed to finish it, but I think it was more because I was confused on where this was going, I guess. And I don't know, I may have normally not finished it, but I was kind of baffled by it a little bit. Another thing that I had a problem with is that I felt like a lot of the characters, when talking to each other, talked really weird. It's kind of hard to explain, especially since it might just be me. But to me, it kind of felt like sometimes one character would say something, and instead of responding to what character A said, character B would kind of say something that is not really related to what character A was saying. So it just kind of sounded like two characters, or more, I guess. It was usually when it was two. It sounded kind of like these two characters were talking, and they were supposed to be talking in a conversation, but they were actually just on the phone with somebody else. But nobody's on the phone with somebody else. They're actually supposed to be talking to each other. And I don't know if that's stilted or awkward or what the wording is, and it's more of a feeling type thing than a definite, yes, this is what they were doing. So it was very strange in that way sometimes. Maybe it was more supposed to be their thoughts on what's going on, perhaps, and maybe that's a carryover from the stage play where, you can't exactly voice over, oh yes, you're thinking about it. Well, I guess maybe you could, but I don't think that's usually done that way in a stage. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's just bad direction. At least to me it feels bad. Or it's just an adaptation thing from play to movie or something else, and I don't know. Or maybe it's just me. Felt like a lot of the scenes didn't add anything. They didn't add atmosphere, character insights, and or development, story, or even humor. I don't think there's any humor in this one. Or if there is, they try humor and it's not good at all, at least from me understanding humor. So it was overall just meh. It's hard for me to see who this might appeal to, so I'm not sure if I can recommend it or not. Maybe if you really like the play Dead End and you want to see an adaptation of it, maybe? I don't know. Or if you're more like film buffy, analyzing stuff. I don't know. I don't know if what about this was revolutionary or whatever enough to get a Best Picture nominee, but it definitely wasn't for me, so I won't be watching it again. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Let me know if you've watched this, or maybe the play, and your thoughts on this. I don't even know if the play is a big play or not. I've never heard of it before, but maybe it's bigger among more theater buffs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye!